Wake up, Jacob. It's me, IP. And if you are feeling the vibe, like, share, subscribe. Well, how are we doing? How are we doing as far as dealing with the quarantines and this stoppage of workflow? The things that we normally do day to day. But I'm not going to be too long with you guys. But it's getting crazy out there. It's getting a little crazy out there. So, but anyway, you guys, let me know. Let me know what's going on you guys' end. Let me know what's going on there. Uh, Shalom. I will be doing a roll call. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Put a 100 in there if you can hear me. That'd be great. But I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. Let some other folks know. Share. Let them know that we're on. I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on right now. Talk about some plagues and stuff like that. Shalom, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. We will be doing a roll call. So, you guys, hey, let some other people know. I'm gonna wait a few seconds, and we'll talk about a few things. Awesome, awesome. So, um, not gone, not gone. I'm just gonna excuse myself just for a second. Also, want to get some water in case I start having a coughing fit or something, because I haven't coughed at all. But as soon as I go live or talk to someone, all of a sudden coughs come out, so I can just start scaring people or something, so they think, "Oh no, he got that corona." Ah, jeez. What's going on? What's going on? I'm okay, but I had to get some water because I wouldn't believe. I had to get some water because I'll break out like in a coughing for no reason. I'm fine. I haven't coughed all day, and all of a sudden I go live, and all of a sudden I'm coughing like crazy. I also saw one of my videos. It looked like I was kind of jacked in because I'm trying to keep this thing plugged up, so it looked like I was jacked into it. But you guys, y'all gotta get your snack game going. Gotta get your snack game up. Because I know on the Shabbat, I don't know what it is, man, but I could just snack all day. You doing the Shabbat, not doing anything. I just be, all that. So I'm like, you know what? I need to get some trail mix or something just to, I don't know, just control and mitigate those munchies. It's the pollen, but yeah, it probably is. It probably is the pollen because I don't know. It's just it happened like all of a sudden. It's like a tickle in the throat or something like that, and it only happens. It seems like it only happens. I told you guys a story. I just got on the phone. No cough. Everything's fine. Dude, pick up the phone. I'm coughing. I'm start coughing. You know. And y'all saw that video. I was coughing too. So it was just ridiculous. But man, what's going on in you guys' area? Y'all talk to me a little bit. What's going on in your area? What state you're in, and just let us know what's going on. What's going on in your state as far as lockdowns. Out here, obviously, in the Ozarks and stuff, it's a lot of stuff is slowed down, like everywhere else. Restaurants can't go in there, sit down, or anything like that. Not that I tried, but you can't go in there, sit down, and eat. You got to get it to go. Obviously, you can't gather more than 5 people at a time. What's some of the other things going on? Walmart. The shelves are going bare, at least for the essential type stuff. The non-essentials, there are still plenty of that, still kind of going in and out. More people are starting to wear their masks, masks and gloves and things like that, which that's good. That's good. I do. I know I do. Of course, I don't go out that much, but when I do, I'm masked up. I'm gloved up. Uh, I've been looking, online, and seeing that a lot of businesses shut down, and theaters. Obviously they're not gonna be gathering in churches. I mean, nothing that has like any type of gathering. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing. I'm not even that big. Like, obviously, when you're kind of stuck in a house, you're quarantining, and you can't do all the things that you want to do and go get the supplies and tools and things that you need. So what do? You end up you end up binge watching, TV, or you study more. If you can, you study more, but um, people don't study 24 hours a day. They don't study about 24 hours a day. They get in, they get their study in, and meditate on it, and and move on to something else. But you do all those things, and all of a sudden you binge watching. So anyway, I saw. Don't even watch wrestling that much or whatever, but it was very weird and surreal to watch it with no audience. That is crazy to watch it with like no audience. I didn't even watch the whole time. I was just kind of looking, and I was like, the audience really adds to the ambiance to try to sell this stuff. So it was just kind of weird. It's just kind of surreal. Um, people scrambling. People are scrambling. I mean, I know churches are going to be hurting because people are not gathered. People are not gathering and stuff. Yeah, me too, brother Frank. I just stopped watching. It was just kind of weird. I really couldn't even muscle through. It was just weird. But anyway, yeah, everything's. I mean, I know the NFL happy. I know they're like, whew, we dodged that one. Super Bowl's over and all that, so they didn't have to necessarily shut down. The only thing is they can't bring people in to test for the physicals or something. If they're going to be signing this free agency and all that stuff. If you're in the sports and all that, so if you're into that, so that's the only thing that changed for them. I mean, obviously NBA, that sucker just stopped. And like I said, I don't watch those. I don't watch like I used to. I don't watch like I used to. I just got it's too busy. I'll watch a few highlights here and there. Like this football season, I couldn't really sit down and watch games. Normally it used to be a thing for me. I was like, Sundays don't bother me. I'm gonna get my spread, my food, and all that. Don't bother me. I'm watching football. Stay away from me. Now, any game that I actually used to be interested in or whatever, I'll just watch the 10-minute highlight and be done. Like, oh, okay, so and so won. So the whole fanatic and fan, it's just not what it used to be. It's just not. I don't know. I don't have that same passion, way I used to. And basketball, I, I just never really got into. I'm not saying I don't like that. Basketball's cool, but I never really got into it like I got into it like with football. Right? I just never really got into it. So it's just your priorities change, and it's just not that important to you anymore. So it is what it is. So you got a lot of sport, nothing is happening. Just nothing. I'm like, gee whiz, on that, and that's fine. And then of course, like I said, the churches are not gathering on Sundays. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't have a large gathering and stuff like that. Yeah, he said, "Thank the Most High for ESPN Classic Run." Yeah, that's all. That's all you can do. All you can do is watch old stuff. They talk about old stuff. I see some of the analysts. They're still doing it. Via satellite. And they're still trying to broadcast and talk and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people they poo-poo like entertainment and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna really poo-poo it that much, because if someone is at home watching whatever it is that entertain them, whether football, basketball, wrestling, whatever, UFC, whatever the case may be, that means they're not over here trying to rob me. So I'm okay. Keep them entertained, keep them occupied. We know what they say. Idle hands and stuff like that. So um, a lot of people are gonna go stir crazy, which also is why I think there's gonna be our own baby boom coming up. November, December, January. Man, it's yeah. You got you got people. it's going to be something, you know. Shabbat Shalom, Rosie UK. Shabbat Shalom, sister. So it's going to be, yeah, I think I'm just predicting. Like, I'm just predicting. I really think there's going to be a baby boom going on. And yeah, that's, you know, hey, it is what it is. Because people, you know, you're at home a lot more. You know, your kids are with you. Um, you start running out of things to do. So you start looking at your significant other. And, well, you guys know what happens. So, you know, so it is what it is. But we're going to move on to a couple of scriptures. You know, it's definitely going to be a baby boom. But hey, what can I say? Okay, lost it for just a second there, but it came back. I don't know, it just kind of dropped. But I'm glad you guys still hung in there. So, yeah, we're definitely going to have another baby boom. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, some of the plagues and stuff like that. But let's look, okay? Because all we have today, all it is today is a plague, right? And let's look at the definition of plague. It says a contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever and delirium, typically with the formation of buboes or bubonic plague, and sometimes infection of the lungs like pneumonia and plague. It's the pandemic. It's a plague. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with. This is a plague. Okay. Cause continual trouble or distress too. Okay, well that's the definition, but we're talking about the noun version. This is a plague. So that's what's going on in our society today. It's nothing new. Okay, this is what was going to happen. It had already happened before in the past. So this, my friend, is nothing. There's nothing new about this. This is about plague. You see it early on in the Bible, and you see it all the way at the end. Plagues and plagues and plagues. And people, because we use, you know, slightly different languages, archaic, you know, or some of the language maybe seem a little bit archaic, and we don't use the terms today. We don't like use the term pestilence that much or whatever, and we don't say plague that much. You know, we use things like epidemic and pandemic and things like that. You know, modern language, but it's already been talked about. You know, it's a disease. It's a contagious, infectious disease. That's what it is. And that's what we have today. That's what COVID-19 is. That's what it is. You know, one of the things that when the Messiah comes back and just turns this whole world upside down, he's going to use things like the plagues, and he's going to use nature. He's going to use things that really, you know, affect us. You know, he's going to, like you read in Revelation where, you know, boom, wormwood will hit the waters, and, you know, and the rivers and things like that. Hey, if you can't drink, you know, in Egypt, you turn the water into blood. You can't drink that, so you cannot quench your thirst. Okay, destroying crops. You know, that's where famines and stuff like that. You can't eat, so you can't drink, you can't eat. You know, you're in trouble. Okay, you are in big trouble. You know, when your livestock becomes diseased and sick, you can't eat that either. So if when he wants to get at someone or a nation or whatever, he gets at them. He gets at them for sure. So we got, you know, hey, we got to remember that. But let's go on over to Revelation 15. Revelation 15. Let's just kind of go through it. Chapter Revelation. The book, chapter 15. And it's real short. It's only like 8 verses, so we'll kind of look through that a little bit. And guys, in the chat, just let us know, give us an update of where you are, just the state that you're in, and you know, how things are going, how people are handling certain things. I've been hearing a lot of different news things. You know, a lady gets robbed for her groceries. I saw that, and I saw a couple other things. So go ahead, put it in the chat of what's going on in your neck of the woods. Revelation 15, actually, 15 and 1, it says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. Now let's see what plague is in the Hebrew. Okay, plague. Okay, oh, did I get the right thing? Okay, plague, a bow, a stripe, a wound, public calamity, heavy affliction, a plague. Okay, so that's what it is. Oh, in the Greek. That was in the Greek. Sorry. That is in the Greek. So, verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and let them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. And they sing a song of Moses, the servant of God, and a song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. And what we got to understand is, obviously, when you're in Revelation, you're talking about a very apocalyptic language. It has a lot of imagery and things like that we just have to keep in mind. But we let the Bible kind of explain itself. And let's see, it says in 4, and who shall not fear thee, O God, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Okay, so they're going to be obvious. They're going to be obvious what his judgments are. Basically, he's going to be punishing the wicked, and we're going to know why. Okay, the saints, the believers. They're going to know why. They're going to see, okay, all this is coming down because of the wickedness of this world, right? That's where it's going to be plain to see. That's why it'll be made manifest, all his judgments, okay? And after that, I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was open, and the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. Okay, so just kind of giving us an idea of what they look like at the time. Remember, John is describing, he's trying to use the language and words that he know of his time. Remember, this is 2,000 years ago, right? And one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. And so that's what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with a plague right now, okay? Is it a biblical proportions right now? No, it's a precursor, okay? I mean, this is just a small, until the bigger ones come. This is just a small little plague by biblical comparison. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not a big deal. Now, of course, there's some people out there who are saying, it's no big deal. It's just you got the tinfoil hat people who, it's just mind control, and we're just trying to do this, and they just want to, take away your liberties and all that. Okay, I get it. But let's deal with what's practical right now, like what we should be doing, instead of just conspiracy over and over and over. I got thoughts too, but I'm not going to just tell you my conspiracies if they're unsubstantiated. Okay, I mean, I can tell you if you just for fun, I think it's this, I think it's that, but no, we need to go and stick close to what is written. Okay, that's what we have to do. We have to stick close to that and be led by the Spirit, of course. But not everyone's going to do that. Okay, so the 7 last plagues have to be fulfilled at the time. Now, are we in this time right now? You say, Brother Robert, IP, are we in this time? No, we're not in this time right now. We're not in the heart of it, because there's so many other things that have to take place. We go to like Matthew 24, and we'll see, a lot of different things have to take place. But are things unfolding? Abso-freaking-lutely. Things are unfolding. Absolutely, they're unfolding, right? But this is a beginning, okay? This is a beginning. So we just have to keep that in mind. We're still in Revelation, but I want to go over to Revelation chapter 11. Let's see. I'll start at 1. Okay. Revelation chapter 11. And there was given to me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. Okay, so we're talking about the 2 witnesses, right? And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. This is not about who are the 2 witnesses. Okay, there's a lot of theories and stuff out there, but that's not the point of this live stream. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. So anybody who put their hands on the 2 witnesses, they're going to have a problem. Okay, they're going to have a problem with the Most High, with the 2 witnesses and the Most High. The 2 witnesses have a license to kill whoever they may be. Okay, 7, and when they shall have finished their testimony, because they have a job to do, The beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them. So only until the appointed time, okay? Only until the appointed time are they going to be killed. They're going to get what they came down for. They are going to get it done. And when that is done, then the beast will come out of the pit and slay them, make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. In verse 7 and verse 8, it says, and the dead body shall lie in the street and of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, so, Sodom and Egypt, it represents, all that wickedness, the pottery, bondage, things like that. So that's what it represents. And they of the people and the kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put into the grave. So they're going to let them stay, or let the bodies stay right there on the streets. Okay, going to let the bodies stay there. They're not going to go bury them or anything like that. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. Now, they're going to torment them. That's because they're going to be talking about repent. The kingdom of God is at hand. Repent. God is coming to destroy the earth. Okay, you need to get your act together. You guys have blasphemed against God. You have done much wickedness. Your wickedness has been heard and has ascended all the way up to the heavens. And the Lord, you got his attention, and now he's about to make some people pay. So you get the two witnesses, whomever they may be, saying this, and people don't want to hear it. It's just like if you right now, you're just saying, hey, look, guys, we have to listen to the Lord. We have to obey his law, statutes, and commandments. We have to be obedient. We have to serve him. Okay, we have to go through Messiah, because some people, they don't like Messiah. We have to do all these things. You're saying these things, and they're going to hate on you. They're going to be like, man, get out of here with all that. Okay, I don't want to hear that. Or they want to debate with you. They want to go back and forth. Or, we're not under the law. We don't have to do this. There is no obedience. We don't have to get in order. We don't have to do any of this stuff. We don't have to do nothing, right? So it's the same thing. It's very, very similar. It's going to be the same thing. People are not going to hear you. People don't want to talk about righteousness or anything like that. It's going to be perceived as wickedness. I mean, when you tell someone they have to be obedient to the Lord, and we are subject to the law and all that, then they're just like, oh, you're putting us under bondage. You're legalistic. They say that now. It's going to be in earnest, because people like things the way they are. They love their delicacies. They love comfort and convenience. They love all the things, no matter how much the wickedness. There's so many shows. There's so many shows that come on, and it just irks me, right? Because I don't like the normalcy of some of the wickedness, right? I don't. Now, I try not to let it irk me, because I know what it is. I know where it's coming from. I get it. I know what it is. I know the prince of the power of the air rules this world. And so all the content that's coming out, well, most of it anyway, all the content that's coming out is coming from him. And so wickedness is just normalized in the day that we're in. And so you're going to see the love of many will wax cold. Okay, you're going to see that. And he says, in verse 10, it says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelled on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them. If you go back to Genesis, the breath of life, he breathed the breath of life in there. And then you go look at Ecclesiastes, where, the body goes back to the grave, from dust thou art, from dust thou shalt come, but the body go back to the grave, then the breath of life returns to God who gave it. After 3 days, let's see. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Okay, because they're like, whoa. Okay, so they were dead for 3 days. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So they're going to see this. They're going to see what happened. They're going to see this all happen. Okay, and remember, John is describing what he's seen in this vision, or what the angel is showing him. He's describing what he's seen. Okay, so take that for what you want. Let's go over to, if you will, last spot in Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 18, if you will. Okay, let's go to Revelation chapter 18. I'll start at 1. I'm going to read a couple of verses here. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean, hateful thing. So you look at now, people got different views on Babylon. Okay, you got to go back to Sodom and Egypt. They say America is Babylon. Some people say over Iran, Iraq, there is Babylon. Okay, over there. I'm not for to argue or debate where is Babylon. We know there's a spiritual Babylon and stuff going on, right? We know that there's actual physical Babylon over there in what is called the Middle East, over by Iran, Iraq, stuff like that, and Saudi Arabia, in that area, right? So whether you believe that America is Babylon, or you believe that, somewhere over in the Middle East, what's commonly called the Middle East as Babylon, you know, we're just talking about what's going to happen around that. Okay, what's going to happen. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why some they say that. But the two prevailing thoughts is America or over in the Middle East. The Iran, Iraq, stuff like that. Okay, but we'll see. So they said it's. But in verse 2, he just said, is fallen, and become the habitation of devils and the whole of every foul spirit. Okay, so there's got to be some false religion and false worship and things like that. Both of them fit that description. Okay, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, has participated in her fornication. Okay, idol worship. Okay, have participated in that. Both of them fit that. America fits that, and over in the Middle East fits that. Where it's mostly over here, mostly Christian. Over there, it's mostly Muslim. So both of them did the same thing. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, now this is where you start to, the lines start to separate a little bit. America isn't the leading exporter, right? They do lead in trends and things like that. I get it. They're not the leading exporter and a lot of things, certainly not like food and things like that. But they lead in other areas. But if you go to the Middle East, that's where all the oil is. Okay. So, but again, I'm not saying which one is which. It doesn't matter to me. You guys free to go with whichever one you think is which. But they both fit. Okay. America does have the petrodollar, right? I mean, even though I know that's crashing, I know that's crashing. That's going to go away. But I'm just saying, people are in debt when they hold their debt in the petrodollar. I know some countries have already gotten off of it, but when they hold their debt in petrodollar, that's why America has lasted this long, right? Because they had the petrodollar. So you have that, or then you go to the oil-rich countries where most of the world get all their oil. You think of things like that. They drunk with the wrath of her fornication and become very rich. Okay, and merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, so you have that. And let's see, delicacies. Make sure I have the right one. In the Greek, strenos, excessive strength which longs to break forth, overstrength, luxury, ego desire. Okay, so that's what we have there. But listen to what it says. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That we receive not of her plagues. Did we do plague already? Okay. Plague. Okay. A public calamity, heavy affliction, a plague. Okay. So we read that one already. All right. So that you're not partakers of her plague. That's why you have a lot of people saying, come out of her, so that you're not partaker of her plagues. All right. So most of it's going to be in larger cities, heavily population dense cities. The reason why a lot of people come out of her. Now, do I think every believer is going to come out? No, I do not. I don't think everyone's going to come out. Okay. I don't. It's not even meant for everyone to come out. The ones supposed to come out are the called and the obedient, right? Now, some people, again, before someone thinks I'm taking a shot, do I think there are going to be some righteous people in the city? Yes, I do think there's going to be some righteous people in the city. Because I don't know the calling on every single man's life and every single man's household, except to be obedient to the Most High. So, if they're in the city and that's where the Most High want them to be, then okay. And obviously, there's going to be martyrs, okay? Obviously, there's going to be martyrs because some people the Most High is going to tell to come out, and they're not going to come out. So, they're going to be a martyr, right? Some people want them to stay put, okay? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll just have to see on that. But that way you're not partakers of a place. But for those who feel like they should be called out, okay, one of the reasons is because you don't want to be in a population dense environment. Because why? It is hard to secure your stuff, and it's hard to contend with a lot of people, whether you are by yourself, obviously, especially if you're by yourself, but also if you have a small group. It's a little bit easier, but still, you can still get overwhelmed. You have a large community, 30, 40, 50 men, 100 men, 200 men. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, but again, it's easier to protect when you're away from too many people. When you're away from too many people, it's easier to protect what you have. Okay, so that's why they say, come out of those cities, come out of those population dense centers. 5, and for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities, her sins. Remember everything that Babylon has done, everything the wicked world has done. Okay, he remembers all of it. Okay, we're going to continue on in verse 6. All right, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she has filled to her double. She's going to get everything that has been falling. The people of the Most High is going to befall the people of the earth, the wicked. Okay, it's going to befall the wicked people who have participated in all this fornication and all these atrocities and all these calamities. They're going to get it. They're going to get their just due. Okay. 7, and how much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit as a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Like, everything's fine. It's fine. I got this, man. Look, I got money, resources, wealth, all these type things. I got all these countries and nations paying obeisance to me. So everything is fine. That's what she is saying. Okay, that system, Babylon. Okay, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, come swiftly, come quick, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So because it's going to be a lot of tragedy. So whatever, whoever, wherever, whether it's America, whether it's over Babylon, Middle East, or anything, where it doesn't matter. We're gonna be able to see what's going on, and a lot of the kings of the earth are gonna be like, "Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe what is happening. Everything was so good and so powerful. How could anyone take her down? How is that possible?" And yet it'll be possible, right? Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment comes. That means she's going to fall. She's going to fall quickly. When it happens, it's going to be quick, right? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So, hey, you've been cut off. Okay, the gravy train is gone. That's the problem. The gravy trade is going to be over. It's going to be gone. And the merchants, the people, the leaders, okay, the superpowers, okay, the people in high places, they're going to see this and they're going to be like, oh boy, this is bad. 12, and the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thing wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble. See, it's just it's a lot. It's rich. Okay, this is just luxury, right? And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Meaning all this good, that gravy train is stopped. It's over. Not gonna have it. Not only is she fallen, and everybody who benefited from her, it's over. You've been cut off. It is over. She's fallen. It's over. Okay, the merchant of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen, she had it all, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Okay, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, all to naught, nothing. It's just it's over. Okay, it's over. They can't believe it. Now these are the wicked people. These are merchants who benefited from being off, the system, benefited from Babylon. For 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. We're not having trouble with shipment right now in China. Having some trouble in shipment because what? Almost everything's made in China. Okay. Now I know they're working on opening up the ports and stuff like that, but you see how fast things can stop. You see how just a disease. That's just one thing, one of the many things that the Most High can use to shut it down. You see, one of the many things that he can use to shut things down. Okay? Hope you guys understand that. So I just read 17, 18. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? It hurts when things get, just imagine companies, okay, that we get an abundance of one particular product. Like if you go to, certain countries, like most diamonds are mined out of Africa or something. Then you get cut off from that. No, we don't need diamonds for anything. I'm just giving you an example where, in the Middle East is oil rich, right? We get our oil from there. We get a lot of our merchandise and manufacturing and stuff like that out of China, and that gets cut off. You see how it affects us, when we're really dependent on another nation and something happens. Look at how we're all affected. That's all I'm saying. So this is something that's been happening. It's just one of those things, guys. It's been happening. It's just that we have to walk circumspect. We have to understand that these things are happening. There's really nothing new under the sun. Okay, it just, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Okay, this has happened before. Okay, this has happened before. So let's go to Exodus 9. Let's look at it. Exodus 9, we're going to look at a little bit of that. Okay, talk about plagues. Then the Lord said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus said the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go and will hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Okay, let's look at what murrain is. Okay, it's in the Hebrew 1698 in Deber. And it's a pestilence or a plague, murrain, cattle disease. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with there. And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. So he's going to make a difference, right? He's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to save this side. Israel, be fine. Egypt cattle. Okay. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel. The Lord appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. Okay, so the Most High can help you in the calamity. That's what I'm saying. So you could be, in the city. Now, I'm on the side of come out of her, my people. Let me make that clear. Okay, let me make that 100% clear. Okay, because you get a lot of trolls and stuff. They say, oh, this brother, he said just stay in the city. No. Nay. I'm of the mind of come out of her, my people. And I say, get some land, be self-sufficient so that you're not dependent on the system as much. Okay, I'm in the beginning stages of that. Okay, I'm nowhere near where I would like to be, and this pestilence is a wake-up call for me. Okay, so I'm of the mind come out of her. I'm of the mind getting in a mag, patriarchs helping patriarchs, fellowshipping together, things like that, or get in a community. Okay, that's what I'm of the mind. Okay, I'm of that thought process. Okay, building with one another. Okay, being separated from each other was a curse. Being scattered from each other was a curse. It was part of the curse. It wasn't on the blessing side. okay? Because like I said, you have some Israelites and you have some individualites out there. You know, some people they don't want to have nothing to do with their brethren, okay? Some of them pretend like they do, and then some of them just straight up don't want to. They don't have it in them, right? So you know, they're like really like hermits, all right? You know, and that's it. But as far as being around one another, okay, can't do that. So hey, then you have the pessimists. Oh, you can't trust nobody and all that. I get it, but you know, maybe you need to find someone you can trust. So in 7, and Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead, and the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. Okay, so he was just resolute. He's just not. He's not gonna. Nope. I'm not letting him go. And the Lord said unto Moses, unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh, and it shall become small dust in all of the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon men and upon beasts throughout the land of Egypt. Okay, blains. Let's look at that, which is blisters and boils. Okay, whew, that's a plague. It's a plague. It's a plague. Okay. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it upward towards heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon men and upon beasts. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians, the magicians and the Egyptians. So, I mean, you got it right there, brothers. I mean, it's bad. Okay, I mean, it's bad. It's boils, blisters, things like that. That's not what this is. That's not what you know the coronavirus is. But it's a plague nonetheless. Okay, we've had plagues forever. Okay, since there were men, we had plagues since forever. So let's go on over to Genesis, so we can start wrapping this up. Genesis 12. Genesis 12, and I'm just going to start at 10. Okay, so let's look at that. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. Okay, famine, you know, crops and stuff wouldn't grow, right? And it came to pass when he has come near to enter in Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore, it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. They're going to keep you alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld a woman that she was very fair, so she was very, very good looking, right? The princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. Now, let me see. Fair 3303, fair, beautiful, handsome, right? Because they said David was fair too. Everybody keeps on making fair to be white. That's not it, but that's what they want to make it to be. So, and the princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen and asses and men servants and maid servants and she asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Okay, plagued them. Okay, bad things were coming. This was a very normal occurrence. It was a very, very normal occurrence. So let's just go to our last two places and we'll close out. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get back to your Shabbat. So go with me to Luke 21. Started over at 7. Okay. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. Like, don't listen to them, don't follow them, none of that stuff, okay? This is talking about like the end days, you know, the last days, right? But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions or rumors of wars, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by. So it's not near, not yet. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Even right now, this is not the end, right? This is not the end. This is going to pass, but it does lead to something else. 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences. Okay, let's look at pestilence, which is in the Greek 3061. What is a pestilence? A lamos. Okay, pestilence, fellow, pest, and plague. Okay, pestilent fellow, or pest, or plague. Pestilence is a plague. Okay, so you're going to hear about these. So it's starting to happen. The Bible is actually coming alive right before our eyes. It's starting to happen. Okay, pestilences and fearful sight and great signs shall there be from heaven. Okay, so now we're going to see atmospheric type things. Okay, very weird weather patterns, pretty severe. Okay, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, deliver you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, and they shall turn to you for a testimony. Okay, settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall say. Don't worry about it. Okay, this don't have to be pre-rehearsed. This is gonna go down. This is what's meant to happen. This is prophesied again in the last days. You have to understand. Sure, unbelievers will turn you in. That's wicked. The heathen, of course, they're going to turn you in. They don't like you. You're not like them. Okay, you're in this world. You're not of this world. But you got to understand, everyone who says that they're Israel are not Israel, and they too will turn you in. You got people who are so married to particular doctrines and particular, think, oh yeah, you're gonna be, I'm part of the 1/3. You're not part of the 1/3, so they're gonna turn you in. You can have people, you may have like Christians or something that will turn you in, right? Because you're obviously serving two different gods, right? You're obviously serving two different gods. You're not serving the Sunday Messiah. You're not doing the whole blonde hair, blue eyed fellow. You're not doing the holidays that they serve. It's two different paths, right? So they will turn you in. They will turn you in because you're oppressing them. You're telling them they got to go back under the law, which of course they never left from under it. But you're trying to tell them that they got to go back under the law and they need to do certain things. So they will turn you in. Okay, it's just that simple. You're serving two different gods. Okay, so for I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Because they can't prove to you what you're saying is false. Meaning, when you're saying, hey, we need to obey these law, statutes, and commandments. We need to eat clean. We need to observe his holy days rather than his holidays. There's really nothing they can say after. They can't prove it, okay, out of the Bible. Okay, they can't prove it. There's really nothing that they can really say against it. Their beef is with the Bible, not with you. Okay, and shall be betrayed both by who's going to betray you, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. I'm just trying to prepare you. Look at the people who are going to betray you and stab you in the back in the last days. That's why it says the love of many will wax cold. It's not going to matter. Okay? It's not going to matter, guys. That's exactly what they're going to do. Look at the people who are going to betray you. Okay? Verse 16. You need to keep 16 in mind. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents, because some of you guys came into this knowledge and your family didn't. You went to your family and you were all gleeful and like, oh, look what I found out. Look, we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to do that. And they're like, what are you talking about? You're doing too much. What's going on? No, it don't take all that. You guys heard it. You heard the rhetoric. You heard it. You heard it. So you're gonna be betrayed by your parents and your brethren, those who you thought were your brethren, and your kinfolk, your cousins and nieces and nephews and all that. Okay? Sons of some of you got adult daughters and stuff like that, and your friends. They're all going to betray you in the last days. That's when the rubber meets the road. That's when you find out what you're made of. When the pressure is applied, whatever comes out, that was in you, that which was in you will come out at that time. Okay? So, what do we have? Put to death. 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, because you say you are, an Israelite. You are a Hebrew. You are a follower of Yeshua. Okay? Because some people may say, well, Jesus, I don't have a beef with Jesus, but I'm just saying, some people, if we're talking about, for example, the Sunday Christian, okay, what? They follow Jesus, right? But you're going to be like, well, no. It's Yeshua and, Hamashiach, Yeshua, Hamashiach, or some people say Yahweh Shai, but whatever, okay? You're serving two different people, okay? If the doctrine is different, you're serving two different people. It's that simple. Okay, so you're going to be hated of all men. So those who don't believe and those who are believing false doctrine are this false image in their head, right, of who the Messiah is. And I'm just talking about the image, okay? I'm not arguing over the name, okay? So look at how that's how you're going to be betrayed, brothers and sisters. So let's just go to our last place. I'm going to just go to 2nd Chronicle. And let's look at the attitude of Jehoshaphat, okay? And I'm going to start at 3. 2nd Chronicles 20:3. And it said, Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaim fast throughout all Judah, because they would have a great army was about to come after him and everything, and he was worried that he was going to get wiped out. And proclaim a fast throughout all Judah, and Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of the Lord. Even out of all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord. And Jehoshaphat stood in the congregation of Judah and Jerusalem in the house of the Lord before the new court, and said, O Lord God of our fathers, art not thou God in heaven, and rulest not thou over all the kingdoms of the heathen? And in thy hand is there not power and might, so that none is able to withstand thee? Art not thou our God, who didst drive out the inhabitants of this land before thy people Israel, and gave it to the seed of Abraham thy friend forever? And they dwell therein, and have built thee a sanctuary therein for thy name, saying, If when evil cometh upon us, as the sword, judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we stand before this house, and in thy presence, for thy name is in this house, and cry unto thee in our affliction, then thou wilt hear and help. Okay, so that's where you're gonna have help in your affliction when you cry out and unto God. Now, if you're a wicked person and you want to hear His law, you don't want to be obedient, you don't want to get in line or anything like that, hey, He ain't gonna help you. Okay, doesn't hear the prayers of the sinner. Doesn't he likes protocol? He likes the Father, the Messiah, husband, wife, kids. That's what He looks at. He looks at order. Okay, He looks at order. Are you in line? Or are you in order? That kind of thing. So that's really what it comes down to. So let's see what you guys have. Let me see what you guys are doing. Do a little bit of a roll call, if you will. Let's see. So I can see the chat. A little bit of a roll call. Shabbat Shalom, Lee C. Shabbat Shalom, Frank Stockton. Shabbat Shalom. Let's see, we got Lee C, Frank Stockton. You guys can hear me. Okay, good. Evan Davis, Shabbat Shalom. How's it going? Yeah. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. The coughing is, but notice I haven't coughed. It's kind of like fly swatter. You see a fly, he's buzzing you, and then you grab the fly swatter, boom, he's gone. You can't see it. I grab a bottle, water. I haven't coughed yet. So, what can I say? Okay. So he said, let's see here. That's when Evan, I caught that one. You said, you thank the Most High for ESP classic reruns. Absolutely. Shabbat Shalom, Rosa UK, and the Israelite family. Okay, Shabbat Shalom to you, sister. Let us know if everything's okay over across the pond. Give us a little feedback so we can know. Baby boom 2.0. Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be a little bit of I don't know. I don't know. We need to watch those birth statistics at the end of this year. Ava Williams, he said, I'm one of the lucky ones to work from home, so life hasn't changed as much. I take a nap every day, and after that, 10 work day, the usual stuff. Good, good, good. All right, all right, all right, Sister Ava Williams. Awesome. Oh, okay, you're in Houston, Texas. Okay, everything's good. You guys can still go out to the store, Ava? Let me know if you could still go to the store, and what's that like. If you go to Walmart or something, or any store, any grocery store, what's that like? Let us know what's going on. All right, Evan Davis, Richmond, VA. Not too much except more cases went up. Okay, all right, all right. Let us know what's going on. More cases have went up in Richmond, VA. Okay, cool, cool, awesome. One thing that we're looking out for, we don't want crime to go up. That's really what I'm looking at. I do not want crime to go up. Okay, yeah, studying the seven seals is rough. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be pretty tough with the imagery. They shut down the ports in Norfolk, Virginia. I can believe that. Appreciate that. Okay, Norfolk. Okay. Okay, about an hour and a little bit over an hour out there by the ports. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, got you there. Debate talk for you, very informative as you thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. That is the man, the host of Debate Talk for You, Sal Showtime. That's where I've done a couple of debates over there. I love the platform, so if you guys get an opportunity, and that's another thing that we can do during these times. He's been dropping debates after debates after debates. In fact, I was going to do a couple of debate recaps. So that I can recommend a few debates. I mean, this is probably a good time. We're in the house a lot, but it's probably a good time to actually check out some debates. It might not be a bad idea. That way you can give your undivided attention. I always wonder how following the law is considered bondage. Absolutely, absolutely. And I know, and it's just a mind warp. It's a twisted way. It's because I think what it is, the law, it's how it was packaged and sold to us, brother Evan. I get what you're saying, brother Dave. I get what you're saying. It's like how is it bondage? It's because of how it was packaged and sold. It's like, oh well, he knew you couldn't do this, he knew he couldn't do that, and that's why he sent his son and all that. But it was just bondage, just the way it was packaged. Now, if we were born taught it the right way and applying it, then we would never thought, well, not on a wholesale basis, we never would have thought it was bondage, because we know, it's well, as the scriptures say, it's life. Therefore, choose life. Okay, I bring before you life and death, and then he said, therefore, choose life. So, and when he's talking about life and death, what did he give? He gave the law. Okay, he gave the law, and of course, yes, we need the Messiah. We got to go through Messiah because he's the propitiation or atonement for our sins. I get it. I want to say that because you're going to have a troll come in later and be like, oh, brother didn't say anything about, the Messiah. So anyway, so I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, Lisa said probably because it's restrictive. At least that's what I thought when I first learned about it. Okay, understood. But what it is actually it frees you from bondage, because what happened is that when you become entangled, as Paul would put it, when you become entangled in the sin or iniquity, then now you in bondage of debt, right? I mean, you got a debt, you have a sin debt to pay. Okay, now you are in bondage to that. Basically, you were bound to get what was coming to you, right? Because we made this huge pile of sin, right? And then of course when the Messiah come to kind of wipe all that out, and he said, of sins past, right? Just like he told the woman caught in adultery or whatever, he said, go sin no more. Okay, so that's what we have to do, make a practice of that. He answered, he says, I agree, and also we all can say the same thing about the laws we follow every day in county, states, and federal. Yeah. True, not all people like it. Yeah, not exactly. Not all people like authority and stuff, and that's what I was talking to. You got, like I said, you got Israelites and individualites. There's a lot of people. I mean, I'm starting to see a lot of lone wolves out there. You get a lot of lone wolves, and they're just not into any type of structure or organized worship whatsoever. I mean, hey, that's on them. That's what they choose to do. Hey, that's on them. So, but that's it, guys. Obviously I got a lot more scriptures, but it's not necessary to do that. I just wanted to say hello to all you guys. I appreciate you guys following me and hanging out a little bit. Getting a little bit of the word, fellowshipping, kind of understanding what's going on out there. If you guys don't have any other questions or comments or concerns or anything like that, I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to sign out, and I'm going to go and snack some more. So I will see you guys on the next one. Let's keep our eyes and ears open, guys. Stay safe. Stay separated from anybody. Anybody come within 6 feet of you, give them a couple of skibbity paps to the throat, and tell them to back up off you. Wear your gloves, wear your mask, and be safe.